But I want you now from your own voice to express that to the people of St. Martin. Explain the active cases and where we are, as well as CPS's expectations.
Great. So thank you for that question. I think before I go into the answer to this question, what I would like to explain is what we mean by the term active cases. So for us, active cases is a reflection of the current caseload that the team is managing currently at CPS. So this figure is calculated using the total number of cases over the course of the outbreak, minus the total number of recovered persons and deaths. So for example, yesterday, our active cases was 87. But I think what's more important to understand is that this number is fluid. So in the sense that as persons recover, this number will decrease. And as persons are confirmed, this number increases. And, I've always said this over the course of the year is that I think people have become fixated on this number. But for us, from a public health perspective and an epi perspective, what's more valuable is looking at our incidence rate. So the incidence rate is an important metric because it describes how quickly the disease is occurring in our population. So I believe maybe last week or the week before, when we looked at our number of new cases, the incidence rate was over 200 per 100,000. And when we look at our incidence rate now, using the rough estimates from our population, we see that our count now is about 100 new cases per 100,000 per week. So, on the one hand, this is a good news story, but on the other hand, again, it's to make sure that persons understand that even though these numbers fluctuate, it's important that they really take on the responsibility of ensuring that they do their part to make sure that they are taking on the public health measures. So that is, socially distancing, wearing your mask when you're in public, and increasing your hand hygiene. But, in a nutshell, I wanted to elaborate a little bit because I think people, they see the numbers one day being 80, jumping to 100, jumping to 120. And so, yes, it is important to keep in mind, but it's not solely the number that we focus on from a public health lens.
Yes, I think even, sometimes they were also making a lot of noise because some really look forward to the long list of data and others were totally confused by it. And I think it's important that they understand that they can always go to the website to see the full data of all that CPS is monitoring, but that for simplicity's sake, we only put out with the short amounts, the smaller amounts of information. And that per 100,000, it does not mean we have 100 cases a day or a week. Correct. Because we do not have 100,000. The number is calculated as a ratio.
Exactly.
And for people who are not mathematical, that can create confusion. So this is why we don't say these kind of things.
Absolutely. And I think of course, even yes, sorry, exactly. And I think
you are the ones.
Exactly. And to your point, another metric for us is when we look at the incident number. So that is the new cases per day. That also allows us to gauge our response and how we adjust in-house to increasing and staffing up when we need to respond to 20 cases a day or 25 cases a day. But all that to say that, as numbers increase, resources at CPS need to be up to a certain standard to be able to react and contain the further spread.
Wow, I know you've had a tough time, and I really wish we could award you and each of your nurses, give a huge plaque. I know we were finally able to do some compensation for the overtime when it was really, really, really rough. And I knew you felt underappreciated. So I want to really take this time to tell all your nurses, all your administration, your back office, your EPIs that came in from abroad, and other assistants that you've gotten, a great big thank you on behalf of the people of St. Martin. And this is why I found it important to bring you here also, because what I read in your EPI report, all the graphs, I love graphs, all of that speak to me. But the fact that if it continues, the incidence, the number of infections per day continue to increase, it will really challenge CPS to be able to do the proper contact tracing and all that is needed to ensure that we are tracking everybody.
Exactly.
Of visiting us here on the friendly island of St. Martin? Well, great. Welcome to 37 square miles of paradise. But before you travel, there are a few things you have to know before your departure. It is important while on island that you feel at ease and comfortable, which is why the government of St. Martin introduced the St. Martin Visitors Protection Plan. This is to offer coverage to visitors in the event one should become ill due to COVID-19 related complications. The St. Martin Visitors Protection Plan covers hospital costs, transportation costs, isolation expenses, intensive care costs, doctor's consultations, COVID-19 tests, and medical evacuation. The cost of this plan is a minimum one-time fee of $30 which covers 180 days for visitors 15 years and older, and $10 for visitors under the age of 15, which covers 180 days while on island. Applying for the St. Martin Visitors Protection Plan can be done through the Electronic Health Authorization System, which can be found on www.stmartinentry.com. In just a couple of steps, you can fill out the required information to be able to travel to St. Martin. Let's fill out the form together.
There are 3 steps within the Electronic Health Authorization System form application. The first step is personal information and travel information. In this part of the form, each passenger fills out their personal information such as first and last name, date of birth, passport number, country of residence, and other required fields. In the travel information segment, passengers fill out information about their trip to St. Martin, such as arrival date, departure date, country of embarkation, travel method, and other required fields. The second step relates to your COVID-19 test result. In this part of the form, passengers coming from medium or high-risk countries who are above the age of 9 are required to upload a negative RT-PCR test or negative rapid antigen test. In this section, you must fill out the symptom section. Provide the type of test that was administered, the name, city, and country of laboratory that administered the test, as it is stated on your test result, and upload your test result. The third and final step is the payment for your coverage while on island. In this part of the form, passengers can fill in their credit card information. Note that the payment will only be completed after your electronic health authorization form is approved. Once you have received approval and the payment for your coverage is completed, you'll receive a confirmation email of your coverage.
That's all there is to it. Now you're just a flight away from all of this. Hope to see you soon.
All my life you have been faithful. so good. Every breath that
The old year is about to conclude, ringing in the new year. First of all, what are you hoping to see of the new year 2021?
Well, basically, for 2021, good health, blessings for everyone, especially for St. Martin, country St. Martin, and for everybody to just be grateful and humble and don't give up. Just have the don't give up work mode, just in life in general.
Of course, 2020 was a very challenging one for all of us.
Yes, it was very challenging for most of us. Of course, people lost their jobs, the economy, but I do believe a lot of entrepreneur spirit came about. A lot of people had small businesses came about, and yeah. So for some it was bad, and for some it was good. But you just have to have a vision and a goal and work for it. That's it.
And if I may ask you, what are you hoping for the new year 2021? What are you hoping to see, or what are you wishing of the new year?
Well, I hope that St. Martin can rebuild itself better this time. And I pray that the youth can also help the adults make St. Martin kind of better.
COVID-19 had have some sort of an impact on you, your free movement. You've been able to meet your grandparents and hug them up and what have you. All that had to be played cautiously.
To be honest with you, I am in youth parliament, and so far we are trying to help St. Martin become a better place. We also spoke to the prime ministers and the ministers to see what we can do as youth to help St. Martin become better, and what we can do to build back from COVID and so on.
What are you hoping to be able to do to help the situation better as a youth parliamentarian?
As a youth parliamentarian, I am vice president, by the way, and I am trying my best to include all the youth. For example, like beach cleanup, voluntary work, and many more. I still have to work on what we still have to do. So I'm still trying to figure out what the youth can do to help the adults parliamentarian.
First of all, what are your wishes for the year 2021?
2021? Well, we need to see the world changing because right now the world is, in pandemic. You understand? And it's the coronavirus.
Yeah, the coronavirus. How much did the coronavirus affected your way of living in 2020?
Well, it's been a lot of people. In the whole world, now everything changed. That's it.
I like your glasses.
Thank you.
2021.
Yeah. To see everything changed, and the 21, what happened to come in for the 21 for all.
Thank
For
you.
everybody.
Thanks.
Okay.
The innovative Banco Matico contactless smart card. Your Banco Matico smart card is now equipped with a contactless feature for payments, so get ready to tap and go. Contactless payments are fast, easy, secure, and accepted worldwide at all Maestro-enabled contactless terminals. Tap for transactions equivalent to or less than 100 NAF, or the US dollar equivalent. You will receive notifications via email anytime you tap. Tap, tap, and pay fast. Fast with WIB. For more information, visit our website at wib-bank.net. Tap and go with your partner in progress.
Last year, we know how things was, but this is why we do the peace concert organized by the Calaboom team as well as with the collectivity. So this year, the year 2021, is going to be a very interesting year. We all, of course, just impatiently wanting to take part, wanting to see what's going to happen for the year 2021. Now, before we enter into the peace concert that we are all here for, I want to say thank you to everyone that is viewing right now. Just, we're going to enjoy ourselves. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a wonderful show. Make sure you share. Make sure you talk about it. Make sure you let people know that this virtual concert is going to be amazing. Amazing St. Martin talents are going to be performing right here on this stage. And our first vice president of the collectivity of St. Martin is no stranger to speaking positivity and bringing positive messages to the general population. So what I want to do right now is welcome up on this stage, calling on the first vice president of the collectivity of St. Martin, Ms. Valerie Damazo.
It was a rough year, and we are all grateful to be here this evening. Before I begin, I would like to give a big thanks to the Collectivité de Saint-Martin, SXM artists, and all the artists that will be performing here this evening. Certains lisent le passé, d'autres tentent de prédire l'avenir, assurant ensemble le présent. Que l'année 2021 vous apporte le bonheur et la réussite, le succès de vos projets et l'accomplissement de vos rêves. On this January 1st, 2021, I wish you all good health and much success. May the lessons learned in 2020 help us to be strong and of good courage as we unveil the chapter that awaits us. On behalf of the Collectivité de Saint-Martin and SXM artists, we bring to you our yearly peace concert, this time virtually. May it warm your heart. Je vous souhaite une excellente année 2021, wishing you nothing but prosperity this 2021. Enjoy.
You may feel down and feel like God has somehow forgotten that you are faced with circumstances you can't get through. Right now it seems that there's no way out and you're going under. God's proven time and time again, He'll take care of you. He'll do it again. He'll do it again. He'll do it again. If you just take a look at where you are now and where you've been, You may not know how, you may not know when, but he'll do it again. God knows the things you're going through. He knows how you're hurting. He understands just how your heart has been broken in two. He's the God of the sun, the stars, the sea. He is your Father. He'll calm the storms, he'll find a way, and he'll fix it for you. He'll do it again. He'll do it again. Yes, he'll do it again. If you just take a look at where you are now and where you've been, oh, hasn't he always come true for you? He's the same now as then. Don't you know God has not changed? You may not know how, you may not know when, but he'll do it again. He's still God. He's still God. And he will not fail you. He's still God. He's still God. And he will not change. He's still God. He's still God. And he's fighting for you. Just like Daniel, just like Moses, just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, he'll do it again. He'll do it again. He'll do it again. If you just take a look at where you are now and where you've been, hasn't he always come true for you? He's the same now as then. Don't you know God has not changed? You may not know how, you may not know when, but he'll do it again. He'll do it again. He'll do it again. He'll do it again. If you just take a look at what we were going through and where we're going, hasn't he always come true? He's the same now as then. God has not changed. You may not know how, you may not know when, but he'll do it again. You may not know how, you may not know when, but he'll do it again. One more time, they didn't hear you. You may not know how, you may not know when. Let me tell you, he will do it. I know he will do it again. Hasn't he always come true for you? Hallelujah. Yes. And you know that he's a way maker. He's a promise keeper. He's our light in the darkness. He will never fail us. Just trust in God. He's right here in this moment. No matter what you're going through.